What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Crew 2. And well, in this video, I wanted to go over how the collection is actually going to work from the Crew 2 over the Crew Motorfest. I will also leave a link in the description if you guys do want to check out the actual Ubisoft website that is going over all of these questions in this video. I will basically be going over every single question that people are asking about this import, so it really is going to be an important thing because you obviously can bring your cars over to Motorfest. This is going to be like the hobby vehicles like the Mazda and or the Hummer, because I did notice when I was on Motorfest on the Insider program that you actually could buy the Hummer HX for like 270,000 bucks or so. And if I had to guess, you most likely can do the exact same thing with the RX-7 and or something like the Plymouth as well. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But if you guys are on the Crew 2 though, at least you can get many of these vehicles. That way you don't actually have to buy them in Motorfest when it does release. I do think the best way to actually do this is most likely going to be to get them now, and this is also going to go for vehicles and or things like the cars you do unlock from leveling up as well. And this can also go for something like the Bugatti Carbon Edition that's at level 1000, and or something like the Hup one that's at level 850 as well, and or something like the Acura NSX over here. So I would recommend going after these cars because it's going to be one less vehicle you actually have to buy in Motorfest. But in this video though, guys, I do want to go over all 14 of these questions that are also on the website as well to really give some players closure and or answer some questions people might be asking. So jumping right into this, guys, here, starting off with question number one: how do I import my collection? So when launching the Crew Motorfest for the first time, you guys are going to be faced with two different choices. Either you can start from scratch, or you can import your vehicles over from the Crew 2 into Motorfest. I also did see this in the Insider program, and I would most likely guess you're going to have the same option in the closed beta here on July 21st. But if you guys do this, you obviously cannot reverse this if you actually transfer your vehicles over. And if you do choose not to import your vehicles right away, you can also do this later on as well. I really do feel like we've all been there. Like maybe you hit start from scratch on accident, and that way you can actually transfer your vehicles over at a later time. So that's definitely an awesome feature. But now moving over to question two, guys: which vehicles and vanities are included in the collection import? So to be eligible for the collection import, a vehicle and or a vanity needs to be in both the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest, and you can find out which ones are eligible. You can refer to the highlighted vehicles and or vanities in your garage in the Crew 2. Some vehicles, brands, and or vehicle categories will not be available in the Crew Motorfest at launch. These are going to include the helicopter, jet sprints, and or hovercrafts, and a few car manufacturers as well, so this will be pretty interesting. At the same time though, guys, I would probably say a lot of players are not going to lose a night's sleep over something like a jet sprint and or a hovercraft. I do think most players hated them. And finally, the air race and or aerobatic categories have been regrouped under planes, so it looks like not every single class is going to be in Motorfest, which I honestly did notice this in Insider program, but I didn't mention anything about it, and I was actually insanely happy not to see a lot of these categories come back. I mean, let's be honest, who actually likes using the jet sprints and summits? And I really do feel like the hovercrafts are honestly insanely annoying to use anyway. But moving over to question number three: why are some vehicles and or vanities not available in the collection import? It might be that the vehicle is not yet in the Crew Motorfest and or that it will be added at a later date, for which we will communicate separately for each edition as they do come. For example, if your vehicle from Season 9 in the Crew 2 was acquired in July, it will not become available in the Crew Motorfest till December. At that time, it does become available for the collection import. So for this, guys, for the vehicles you do get basically before July 5th, I will also show a picture of this on the screen. They will basically be available in the Crew Motorfest upon launch in September 11th to September 14th, depending on the edition you actually do get. And then, of course, the vehicles you actually get after Season 9 are then going to be available to import around December 13th, aka like the second season or whatever in the Crew Motorfest. So at least you will be able to use those in the game later on, but they're not going to be available upon launch, which I would say is going to be fine considering there are so many vehicles in the game anyway. But Moving over to question number 4, can I transfer my performance parts with my vehicles? And that's obviously going to be no, so you cannot transfer any of those parts over. There's also going to be new sets and or different affixed stats in Motorfest, so definitely stay tuned for all of those videos in the future, guys. But moving over to question number 5, what if I acquire a vehicle and or vanity in the Crew 2 after having done the import? So honestly, this is a very important question, and I do think a lot of players are going to love this. So if it is eligible for collection import, it will be added to your Crew Motorfest collection upon your next connection. So it does look like if you guys do transfer your vehicles over to Motorfest and you do happen to get more cars unlocked on the Crew 2, it looks like you will actually be able to move those cars over after you actually import your cars into Motorfest. So that is definitely going to be an awesome feature. But moving over to question number 6, can I transfer my collection from the Crew Motorfest to the Crew 2? So that's obviously going to be no. You cannot get cars unlocked on Motorfest and bring them to the Crew 2 because before you know it, you most likely will be seeing Supras literally everywhere. And then moving over to number 7, who will be eligible to the collection import feature? So basically any player with the Crew 2 save and or like save data on the Crew 2, you will have the opportunity to move all of your eligible vehicles over to Motorfest. That's obviously great. And then moving over to question number 8, is it only available for players who have already owned and or played the Crew 2 before? I would also say this is going to be a great question because some players might want to jump in later on. So this reads no, as soon as a player creates a save in the Crew 2, the collection import feature becomes available. So at least if you guys get on the game after, you will still have the opportunity to bring your cars over to Motorfest afterwards, which I really do think that's actually a really good feature. I really do love what Ubisoft is doing with this game so far, and the fact that you can actually bring your cars over is absolutely insane. But moving over to question number 9, on which platforms will the collection import be available? So the collection import is going to be available on the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox Series X and or S, the Xbox One, and the PC. And then moving over to question number 10, I would say is going to be pretty important. So what if I have a different The Crew 2 saves on different platforms? This reads, the collection import is going to be linked to a player's Ubisoft Connect account. If you have the same Ubisoft Connect account on different platforms, excluding Stadia, your collections will be combined and or imported to your new platform. So that is honestly amazing, guys, if you do have different accounts. And then, for example, if you had the game on the Crew 2 on Xbox and or PC, and now you're switching over to PlayStation 5, your collections from Xbox One and or PC are going to be combined and or imported into the Crew Motorfest game on PlayStation 5. So that's definitely insanely awesome to hear. So if you guys are coming over from like different platforms, at least you do have that chance to do so. And then moving over to question number 11, what will happen to my collection purchased on Stadia? So this reads, as of all the Stadia services have been shut down January 19, 2023, if you guys are playing on the Stadia, that's probably going to be kind of devastating. But moving over to question number 12 here, does it mean that I must connect to the Ubisoft Connect to play the Crew Motorfest? So this is probably insanely important as well. Yes, a Ubisoft Connect account is needed to access the game. And then question number 13, what is the cost of the collection import? So this will obviously be free for everyone to do so there's no money involved and or like some crazy stuff you will have to do. And then moving over to the final question, what happens if I change my mind? You can opt out at any time, however, if you have already imported your collection, you cannot change it back. So if you guys do actually decide to bring your cars over, you're obviously not going to be able to bring them back once again into the Crew 2, and or like not want to bring them back in general. So do keep that in mind if you guys actually want to bring your cars over. The fact that all of these features are actually going to be in Motorfest is insane, so it really does make me excited. I'm also insanely happy that the hovercrafts and or the jet sprints are not going to be in the game on release. I'm also really hoping they don't add them. That way we can probably see a lot of insanely cool cars being added into the game. And then a few important things I also wanted to go over as well. So if you guys are looking to get as many cars as you possibly can, do not forget about all the stories because you obviously have a good amount of cars in these, and I would recommend going after these, but of course if you guys don't do this now, you can always go back into the Crew 2 and actually do these stories, and you can then transfer these cars back into Motorfest at a later date, which, to be honest, I would say that is one of the best features I've ever seen in one of these games, the fact that you can do that, and I feel like it's going to make a lot of players insanely happy, especially if they are missing stuff, so I really cannot wait for Motorfest to actually come out, but if you guys have any questions at all, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I also do want to know your thoughts about this as well. I really do feel like being able to transfer your vehicles over is such an awesome thing, and the fact that if you don't want to do it right away, you can also do it after, which I really do like the fact that it wasn't like a one-time thing, pretty much how GTA was back in the day where you pretty much only had like a certain time limit to bring your character over. I really like the fact that you can actually go back on the Crew 2 and get some vehicles you might have missed, like these stories, and then you can actually jump back onto Motorfest and or bring them over, so that is awesome. And I do want to mention, by the way, guys, I will be going over everything about Motorfest even up until the game does release as well, including going over that closed beta that does come out on July 21st, which I should be able to be in that one. I was also in the Insider program, so definitely stay tuned for some videos on that when the beta does come out. I will also be covering everything about this game when it does release, from like the playlist to like basically every collectible, and also going over all the new vehicles in the Crew Motorfest as well, guys. So definitely do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you guys have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below. And the hype for Motorfest is insanely amazing.